Welcome back to GSA Legends presented by Beyond the Summit. I am Vicious Fish, joined by
Optimistic emo.
Optimistic Emu or Emo? Emu.
Apparently emu.
Emu. All right, Emu it is. Emu it is. And we're going to go right into the Super Mario Sunshine any percent run by Chillindude 829, the legendary Sunshine speedrunner. Woo! He's getting ready right now. He's tweeting it out. The way he warmed up for this run is actually by playing Melee and playing Ultimate.
Yeah, lots of it. I mean,
He's not been playing any Sunshine today, as far as I know.
Nope.
Nope.
That's a 0.
That's a 0 Sunshine. Do you think you play better or worse without practicing Sunshine? Dave?
You know, often my first run of the day is my best run of the day. So that's what I'm going for here.
Nice.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Nice. An optimistic Emu, you're going to have to give us all the technical details, as I don't know a lot of the nuances of the Sunshine run. And neither does Chillin.
I really don't. I don't know what I'm doing here. But I'm going to try my best here. We're going to go File B. File B, fun fact, has the highest success rate of PBs for me.
That's your File B.
It's my File B.
There you go.
And File C I don't think has ever PB'd, so C is slacking. A's got a few.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm ready to go as soon as I press yes. That's when the timer starts. All right, I'll do 3, 2, 1, go. Sound good? 3, 2, 1, go.
Cool.
alrighty.
Oh, let's go Chillin.
Already on world record pace.
Dang.
Killing it.
Impressive.
But yeah, so my Sunshine career has been a roller coaster of emotions from day one. I'm kind of bad at this game still, but I've been playing it for so long that I'm not that bad anymore.
You're top 100 now, right?
Yeah, I
80,
believe
84.
number 84.
Nice.
Not too shabby. It's
That's not
better than my
bad.
Melee rank right now, I'll tell you that. So, yeah. The good thing, though, is that after nearly a year of not PBing at all, I finally got a PB earlier this week.
Woo!
So I PB'd by
Congrats.
10 seconds. A little bittersweet because it should have been the 119, and I choked 40 seconds on the final level. But you know, that happens. And at least I got the PB. So I'm not as nervous about trying to get a PB this run. So maybe I'll get one.
We'll see.
Maybe I'll mess around and get a 119. Probably not, though.
Dang.
Very unlikely.
All right, Optimistic Emo. What are some things you should be watching out for right here at the start?
So at the very start, I mean, it's pretty basic. You just gotta go talk to Flood here, and then straight into another cutscene.
Dang. Did he do it perfectly?
Frame perfect, might add.
World record pace still.
Thanks.
My dad.
A lot of cutscenes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much tied with the world record right now, so I'd say I'm killing it so far. Pretty impressive stuff. But yeah, the cutscenes in this game are a big deterrent for a lot of people from speedrunning it because they take a while, as you can see right now. And that means that if you have a run go bad, then you have to sit through these again in order to start another run. So it's kind of crappy, but you know, I personally take advantage of it by just taking a break. Maybe I need to go grab a water.
The time to take a break is at the start of a run.
Yeah.
Because it's
Right.
kind of built in, right? So, I mean, if you're running like Mario 64, then you have like I think it's like a 45-second cutscene at the beginning, so it's not a lot of time to get anything done. So if you're doing back-to-back-to-back runs,
Yeah, it kind of works out if you're doing a lot of runs in a row.
Mhm.
Huh. Do you know the lyrics to this cutscene? I don't know if I said
The
lyrics. I don't know the
The-
lines.
this cutscene diss track.
Because you've heard it so many times. you must be
Yeah,
able to.
I kind of know them. I don't think I could like recite them like by heart necessarily, but it kind of feels like I know all of them.
I bet Optimistic Emo could.
I'm gonna feature him on my next track. Seems like a move.
I'm ready.
All right, so yeah, very straightforward. There's not a lot that can really go wrong in this first segment. Although I've actually made a lot of mistakes here and reset here multiple times.
What
So,
would be the mistake?
Well, you can still bonk on stuff. There's like,
I see.
that's why, so there's actually been a debate in the Sunshine community about whether we should just allow a save file that already has this first shine and is past this upcoming cutscene. This one being the long one. This is where I would go take a break normally because it's nearly 3 minutes. So there's been a debate about whether we should just allow the save file with one shine past this cutscene to start the run. But there's gameplay before that, so it's kind of like a purist standpoint of, well, you know, it's not guaranteed that you would get the perfect airstrip every time, but it's hard to mess up. There's not a lot of variance on airstrip with top runners generally. You're losing maybe a second at most on airstrip, so it's not a game changer.
Okay.
But yeah, ultimately we're still sticking to the official speedrun, you know, way, which is you beat the game from start to finish, regardless of cutscenes and stuff. So I respect that, but I do see the argument for starting with they call it race file because when people do races, they often just go with that, so they don't have to sit through the cutscenes.
Right. This is straight up like 5 minutes or longer, if not. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, so there's multiple cutscenes. This one being the longest, but the 2 cutscenes we already saw are also pretty lengthy. They're each a minute plus, so essentially you're not really starting gameplay of the run until 6.5 minutes in plus. So, you know, there's arguments to be made for skipping it.
What time should you be at the end of the cutscene? Like at like world record pace.
Once you start gameplay, you're at like 6:40.
Yeah, something like that.
4 or so. I forget the exact amount, but it's 6:40 something.
6:40 something.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you'll see that I'm on world record pace.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
But yeah, and then so the cutscenes are, you know, pretty garbage for speedrunning purposes, and then the RNG in the run is also not amazing for speedrunning purposes because there's a lot of RNG that we'll explain as it comes up, and obviously for something that you're trying to do consistently over and over, that's not ideal to have something that's gonna potentially just throw a wrench in it with randomness. So that part sucks.
What are the upsides? I've heard a lot of.
That's what I was getting to. So it sounds like I'm just shit talking Sunshine speedruns right now. But the thing that salvages it, the big silver lining, is the movement in the game is amazing.
Got it.
And as a player that loves movement, being a Melee player, being a GameCube gamer, I truly love the movement in this game. It's super technical, super smooth, super flashy. Really, really fun to play and watch.
Nice.
So that's pretty much what salvages this game as a speedrun game, and it's honestly it salvages it with flying colors because it's all those downsides I mentioned are actually greatly outweighed by how good the movement is, and that's why this is one of the more popular speedrun games out there.
Nice. All right, so we're at 6:48 when you started. 6:47.
Okay, I might be 2 seconds behind. World record pace.
All right, maybe a little bit more.
Another couple seconds. But you know what? I could still world record this.
You never know.
It's currently not impossible.
And so here we're going to be unlocking Bianco Hills and trying to get Shadow Mario out of here by killing this piranha plant.
Yep. These piranha plants are really annoying to fight.
No errors there, look like. Seems
Yeah.
like. Cool.
That was solid.
Cool.
Aside from the bonk getting there.
Right.
But, you know, it happens. But yeah, that's another unfortunate downside to this game is the mini bosses and bosses are kind of crappy. They're all pretty similar and like not that fun to actually do.
Yeah, there's a lot of copy paste.
Yeah, the piranha plants you see over and over. They have like one slight change. You have to spray them a few more times, or you can spray them. You can't spray them at certain times. It's kind of like artificial difficulty in a lot of ways with a lot of these bosses, and a lot of repeat bosses as well, which seems almost a little lazy. But again, the movement's so good that I still love it.
What are some of the advanced movements that you're doing here? Like, what are the inputs?
So
Either
this,
of you could answer.
what I've been doing a lot is the hover slide,
Okay.
which surprisingly enough, the fastest form of movement in this game is sliding on water, and that's even faster. There's literally a nozzle built in called turbo nozzle, which makes you go really fast, but that's still slower than just sliding on water. So that's generally the fastest way to move. So as you see right there, I just started a slide basically at max speed already.
Right.
And if you do the hover slide properly, then you can get that.
Okay.
Another one right there.
Any other kind of movement tricks to keep an eye out for?
On slopes, actually. So if you do a dive and then a rollout in 2 slopes, you maintain like the rollout speed. So you're actually like going faster than what you normally should be going. And so you did it slightly right there, like right before going into the water.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Decent entry there. It was definitely a little sloppy before I actually got into the level, but the level itself was solid. So this would probably be only a second or two behind my actual PB right now, so not bad at all.
Hello.
We have a fellow gamer joining the couch.
I don't think I can hear you.
We definitely can't hear him, but there is a gamer on the couch. Would love to hear him. Is he just talking to production? What's happening on this? Is this supposed to be happening?
I don't know what's going on.
All right, solid fight. I will be in okay shape. We got to run.
How many seconds do you think you're behind right now?
My PB probably only 2 or 3.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Even with the bonk,
There I am.
the early bonk.
Hey guys,
Hello.
I just wanted to join the couch. I think that this is a perfect opportunity for a bit of a cross-examination of Chillindude as a person
Jesus.
Wow.
and
okay.
as a speedrunner.
Okay.
And I had myself a lot of questions. I was watching this in the production room, and I was just wondering things, and I hope it's okay that I
Oh, of
joined the
course.
couch.
Yeah.
I'm ready for my cross-examination as a person and speedrunner.
Why? Okay, so
It's not like there was enough pressure on
so
me
you were talking a lot of shit.
already.
It was really you're talking a lot of shit.
Talking a lot of shit about the game.
How many times have you ran this game? You think? Attempts? 1K?
5K.
Okay. So you're in it.
Yeah.
You're deep within
I'm
the sauce.
all the way up in there.
Now, I have a question. Why Sunshine?
So the reason that I described all these downsides of Sunshine is to illustrate how good the movement is, because despite all these things that are theoretically terrible for a speedrun, which they are, the cutscenes, the terrible bosses, the RNG, the movement is so good that it outweighs all that by far.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
as a melee player, movement is something that you value.
super important.
Right.
So that's kind of the gist there of why I was shit-talking Sunshine for the first 5 minutes. It was to illustrate the point of this game is the movement is so good that it somehow outweighs all those things that are actually terrible for speedruns.
Do you have an emotional attachment to Sunshine and or Mario?
I do have an emotional attachment to both, yes. Sunshine I played a lot as a kid, and I remember I think it was the summer of I don't remember exactly when it came out, summer of 2002 or 2003, but it came out, and my family didn't do anything that summer. We didn't go on vacation at all. So this was my vacation. It sounds kind of sad
Was
to
your
say,
vacation
but
to
it was-
Delfino Plaza?
It was till Delfino Plaza, and you know, this game has a great vibe to it. It's very bright, it's very colorful. It's very happy for the most part, despite the fact that you get imprisoned.
Sure.
away.
Well, I mean, prison can be a happy place if you just imagine it like that.
Yeah. I think that's, well, no. Yeah. I mean, trying
Now,
to give you something there.
I do wonder. So you're a boomer like myself.
Right.
We're old and
We're Boomer Squad.
old and boomers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a game I actually never kind of ended up touching. For one, I think I just got Zelda instead, right?
Okay.
And I do wonder, as I guess it's a casual game. So when you like, I remember I was watching ZFG a long time ago, and someone was like, "You ever just play Zelda for fun, like OOT for fun?" And he's like, "No, I can't. Like, I can't see the game that way."
Yep.
However, in your opinion, do you still think this is a good casual game? In terms of like today's standards.
In terms of today's standards, still yes. I just think it's very good game design. I think that's just like kind of a hallmark of Nintendo first-party games from this generation, is that they were all really well designed in terms of movement, in terms of tight controls and stuff like that. And for that reason, I mean, you would think that wouldn't matter to a casual, but that still leads to a better gameplay experience, obviously.
Right.
And then the game itself, I mean, I guess the predecessor to this was Mario 64, which is, you know, one of the greatest games of all time.
Pretty much the Melee of speedrunning.
Right. So it's hard to live up to that, but I still, from my perspective, I still thought they did an amazing job with it, even from a casual point of view. Still very, very fun to play. So I think it got kind of a lukewarm reception because I think everyone was kind of expecting another revolutionary title like Mario 64 was, right? Because it was the first 3D Mario, and they knocked it out of the park. And then
in this one, you have to shoot fucking water everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for with, like, in terms of you know, something innovative and stuff. Because they always do that with the new 3D Marios. They kind of try to add a new aspect. But
they were in a boardroom and they said, "Let's make it so he can wash stuff."
Pretty much. I feel like it might have been because of the analog triggers. They were trying to, like, take advantage of that and kind of make it useful, innovate in that way.
Okay. You've played like Odyssey too, right?
Yeah.
So do you think this would be more or less difficult just because you're having to do this the entire time along with speedrunning it? Like, you're gonna have to wash and have to, like, hold down that control.
Yeah.
While doing it.
It's kind of hard to say. I did briefly speedrun Odyssey, and I think Odyssey is just so optimized. I think at its core, by the way, this is atrocious RNG, like insanely bad.
Right.
Insanely bad start. This guy just kind of flies around randomly wherever he wants to. It's the first major RNG segment, and probably the worst because you pretty much deal with it on every run. And sometimes you just watch this asshole just traverse the entire world. He wants to go exploring. Let's see what's over here. So it blows.
So sometimes you don't have to fight him at all?
No, I mean, you always have to fight him, but you just have to wait for him to stop before you
I
can
see.
knock him down and then start spraying.
Does he have a name? He dummy thick. I'll say that.
Yeah, he does have a name. It's Petey Piranha,
Petey.
and I hate him. But yeah, I think Odyssey is easier to, like, pick up because there's just a lot of easier ways to complete levels that you don't necessarily need to learn all the hardest strats to begin with and stuff, and you can complete a run relatively easily. But I would say Odyssey is definitely super optimized at this point. So top level, Odyssey could potentially be harder just because it's so optimized. And I think part of the reason for that is because of the lack of cutscenes. People can just immediately start another run. God damn, this RNG sucks. Holy shit. Okay.
What's the time, like, sort of where it ends up landing for Odyssey 90%? Right now?
It's now sub 1 hour.
Okay.
And that was really, really difficult to imagine when the game first came out. Because, like I said, I ran that game when it first came out, and the world record was like 104 or 103. So you would think, like, oh, okay, yeah, someone could shave that to sub 1. But it seemed impossible at the time because the game was already very optimized in the first couple months. So people just had to keep finding, like, smaller and smaller time saves and optimize them more and more, harder and harder to actually execute. With this game, with the RNG and the cutscenes, I think it becomes very frustrating a lot of the time to run it at top level, because then if you do get bad RNG or you make a slight mistake and lose a lot of time, then you have to sit through 7 minutes of cutscenes again to resume another run, you know what I mean? As opposed to Odyssey or 64 where you start again right away.
Have they done like a TAS run where they have all the optimized RNG set out?
Yes.
What is that
and
like?
it's 107 now, I think. It's like 7 minutes faster than the world record, and it was it was made a couple years now ago already, so it could potentially be optimized even further. I highly recommend watching the TAS if you have any interest in the Sunshine speedrun, because it's super sick to watch.
Have you ever, at a point, held a world record in this game?
No, but I did, fun fact, hold a world record in Odyssey because...
Oh. Really?
Yes.
A world record?
Yes.
Banked it, huh?
So I straight banked it in because Odyssey has a co-op mode where one of you controls Mario and the other controls Cappy.
Uh-huh.
And there was a category for it on speedrun.com, I noticed, but there was no submissions. So I told you, I was like, yo, let's snag this world record real quick. And we literally did. We submitted it, and there was only one run on the board, and it was us. We were number 1.
De facto
Okay.
World record speedrun holder.
Officially.
Chillindude 829.
Officially.
Cross it off the list.
That's sick. And so is Chew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Chew
A
is
shared
speedrun
title.
world record holder.
Team Liquid.
But yeah.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
Are you are you more of the Mario in your life, or a Luigi, or maybe a Wario or a Waluigi?
I would like to consider myself the Wario.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Why? Because are you just?
Because I wasn't the star growing up, but
You were evil, and you got a spin-off game.
I've connived my way into being, potentially the most successful.
Interesting. I mean, Wario always had the treasure and the coins.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh.
So what's going on here?
Did you mess it up twice?
Yeah, I messed it up twice.
Dang. What's the mechanic here that you're trying to
boy.
aim for?
Just trying to clip through the hut. Basically, so the way the any percent run works, let me try to get it first. Thank God. Okay. The way it works is you have to beat Shadow Mario in every world, and he's always the 7th shine of each individual world.
Okay.
This shine, for whatever reason, is kind of available in every level. It's just in this little hut that you're not supposed to normally access until the final level. It's level 8, like after Shadow Mario in this world. But using that clip setup, you can get that shine early, and now I can just scroll back and fight Shadow Mario. So I essentially skipped the entire world by doing that one shine early.
Dang.
It's a major time. It revolutionized this run when it was found several years ago.
Have you yourself discovered any tricks or mechanics in this run in this game?
Probably not, no. I wish that I had. But you know what? I already did plenty of innovation in Melee, so I think I'm...
Oh, yeah?
I think
Up throw up air? It's like that.
Falling up air. I did my fair share of innovation.
Sometimes I fall into it, guys.
Chillin' dashing?
What is a chillin'?
What? That's not a thing, is it?
It is.
What's chilling?
Look it up.
Everyone has a dash.
Look it up.
There's a slime dash, I bet.
No, tell me. Don't tell me to look it
No,
up.
look it up.
Oh my God.
I want to prove to you that it's a thing.
Oh God, I'm gonna Google this.
Google it right now. It's definitely a thing. The funny thing is I named that ironically because everyone was naming stuff after themselves at the time, but then it caught on.
Wow.
Be like that.
Never heard of it till now, so it must be super sick.
It's really...
Oh,
It's
is it the invisible shine?
No,
Or
it's
oh,
just
the shine?
it's when you hover off this, like you
Got
do
it,
a
got
running
it, yeah.
shine toward the edge and then you like hover off.
So you do the running, you do the invisible shine, but you don't actually turn invisible. So the shine is
Yeah.
still blinking.
Worse.
Yeah, the visible shine. Cool, dude.
It's sick.
Nice. Well, you're right.
So how's this run going so far? You mentioned bad RNG earlier. You couldn't
Bad
clip with
RNG
that
and
melon.
then few mess ups on gelato skip. It's not stellar. I'll say that much. But it's salvageable.
I mean, you know, the idea is just this is one of 5K, and hopefully 5K more. The grind never stop.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do 5K. I just want to get a 119.
Okay.
I would like to branch out with speedruns because this is pretty much the only speedrun I've ever done. I mean, like I mentioned, I did Odyssey. Tried to learn Majora's Mask once, and that ended up being kind of a disaster. I guess I'm just drawn to games with insanely long opening cutscenes.
Yeah, Majora's Mask is brutal.
Yeah.
So, Chillin', would you stop playing Sunshine after getting 119?
I wouldn't stop, but I would branch out to other categories, I think. And then I would potentially try to learn other games too, maybe. I would be free. It would be like Genie at the end of Aladdin, you know?
Right. There was that video.
The world would be my oyster.
I saw a video of a guy who got Tetris Grandmaster, and he was with his friend at the time, and it's like the reaction of him actually doing it, and he was like, "I'm free now," and it was kind of like weird and almost sad, but also really cool and hype, because he was like, this thing he worked for years and years and years. He's like, I'm out, guys. Like, I did it. And then there's like probably a whole void in your chest, and then you gotta figure out what to do after that.
Right.
But in that moment, it's very, very hype.
I always go for 1738 here. Shout out to Fetty.
Hell yeah.
I got 1740. It still works with it.
1740.
There you go.
That's close.
I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello. But yeah.
What's hundo time around?
So it somewhat recently, like a year plus ago, but it got under 3 hours, and there was like a big rush to try to get to that sub 3 first. Once it became kind of possible a couple years ago. Shout out to Average Trey, the first one to do it. I believe Nanashi currently has it at like 2:58:30 or something like that. Japanese runner.
Insane. Pinata Village.
It's Pianta, but close.
Okay.
There's no squiggly on the end. Should have tipped you off.
I like how it says Mario on the top of the icon for lives, as if it would be another dude.
Just in case you forgot.
Can you play as Luigi in this game? I never played this. Being a boomer, this is just one I never got around to doing. I played Wind Waker a lot.
This is the boomer Mario. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I should know, but also the washing mechanics. Like I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like a chore.
So you don't like washing your clothes?
I have not washed my clothes since 1997.
How does that work? You just buy new
Everything
every time?
becomes antimicrobial. It's like the germs fight each other, and nothing survives.
So it gets so dirty that it's clean.
Yeah, it's like war on my clothes.
That's what I'm trying to do with this run. So dirty that it's clean. So we have another major RNG split coming up after this one. This one's kind of annoying. So, like I said about the repeated bosses, this is just, the big version of the same ones that I fought a few levels ago. They weren't super creative when it came to the bosses in this game.
Yeah, what is your big gripe here? Is it just that they're repetitive, that they're boring, patterns, or?
Yeah, they're very straightforward to fight, and the fight isn't particularly fun usually.
Okay.
It's kind of just doing the same thing over and over that you just have forced wait times where you can't do anything or whatever.
I remember actually, I think I played Galaxy and I felt the same about the bosses.
I guess Mario bosses have never been amazing, right?
It's a weird Achilles heel of their game design.
Although Odyssey bosses aren't amazing either, but they're better.
We all got to get there. I mean, it can't all be Dark Soul.
Dark Soul. You're still washing all the bosses though, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, the flood mechanic is just a key component of the whole game. You're pretty much going to use it for any mini boss or boss.
Can you swim in real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, I see.
I actually can't. I never learned.
Can you ride a bike?
I can ride a bike.
Okay.
I grew up in a landlocked state, and I can snowboard, but I can't swim.
I think snowboarding might be harder than swimming.
It definitely is.
Well, it's freaky because I get in the water and I just go to the bottom and I'm scared.
You sink? You don't even float?
I don't know how to float.
Do you breathe?
Dude, just
No.
go to the Dead Sea and practice swimming there.
I should take a pilgrimage.
Right? Genius suggestion, actually. So this is called Yoshi Skip. You're normally supposed to get Yoshi and spray off that weird vibrating cheese on the top. And then once you spray the gyrating cheese with Yoshi's juice.
Woo!
Oh, this guy wants to just chill here. So this whole thing is RNG. Whether these guys stop or go at specific spots is just whether they feel like it.
Okay.
And so if I got there fast enough, which I didn't, definitely.
Why do they all have your mustache? Is that just a core component of the
I
game?
think that allow me to interject. I think Mario is dead, and this is all an insane fever dream of him going down in the plane.
I see.
That's very possible.
So
oh my God! Just stop at every spot. Why don't you?
Oh
So
no.
yeah, this is very bad. Oh my God.
But this guy has a blonde mustache. Or a gray one.
I nicknamed this guy Ricky.
Why? You know a guy that looks like him?
No, I just thought it was a fitting name for this guy.
That's fair. Ricky would wear a hat like that. I'll
He
say
would,
that.
right? He looks like a Ricky.
Yeah. He actually looks like the genie in Mario Party 4. That the genie in the lamp. He's got like the thick.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
We're good.
This is grab
We're
the time.
chilling.
How-
Yes, time sucks.
How far are you right now?
From
Behind.
PB, so
From
as I
PB,
was
yeah.
saying, that level is RNG because as you saw, I had to
Yeah.
wait for that guy to walk all the way around.
Mhm.
If you get lucky and he stops enough before you get there, then you can just have him throw you there right away as soon as you get there. Relax.
Oh,
There's-
sorry. I'm sorry. I saw him standing
There's a
still.
sign that comes up and says "Go, Vish."
My
I'm
bad,
good.
dude.
He's played this game 5,000 times.
No. My gamer instincts were like, no, he's talking to me. He's not paying attention.
But yeah, so if he stops enough before you get there, then you can have him just throw you there right away. And I got that in my PV on top of just really good gameplay before that and good execution or good RNG on the first guy too, Petey Piranha. I got really good RNG on that. My PV actually had possibly the best RNG I've ever gotten in a run overall.
Yeah,
So
and in comparison to this run, he probably already lost like 45 seconds, maybe.
Just
Yeah,
off RNG?
just
Yeah.
off
Oh,
RNG.
wow.
Yeah.
Dang, man, that's brutal.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not even good at the game. Imagine the people at top level.
Yeah.
You have a literally perfect run the entire time, right? And then you get to King Boo, who's late in the run, and he gives you like a few extra cycles. I'll explain that later. But basically, you could easily lose like 30 plus seconds on King Boo toward the end of the run, and you could just have played perfectly the whole time, but
That's
the
rough.
run's dead. You know.
So I think it really is. So I've thought a lot about speedrunning as like a broadcast product or something you just want to watch, and it's like every time they reset, it's a gamble for the viewer and the runner that this might be the one, right?
Right.
And RNG heavy runs sort of add to that feeling of gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Things like Dampe and like Pokemon, the
Yeah.
entire goddamn thing. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, would you rather this run had zero RNG, or like how if the RNG the way it is now, would you like it interspersed in different ways, or just gone?
I would like less RNG because I do get exactly what you're saying, and I've talked about this before. That RNG is interesting to watch. It adds like some spice, right? Because a lot of top runners, especially, they're so consistent that if you watch multiple runs, a lot of splits start to look the same every time.
Mhm.
But then if you have this massive luck element thrown in there, that could potentially save a lot of time or lose a lot of time.
There's an excitement.
Yeah, exactly. So I do like that aspect, but I would just prefer less because there's a lot of RNG in this run.
Yeah, I mean, and the spots that there are in, like, they're just like 20 seconds, like, here, you're going to lose it. Or, I mean, you could still save it, but...
Yeah, like that, the previous RNG segment I was talking about where the guys were throwing me, that's, I believe, at best, if you, like, execute perfectly and get there as fast as you can, it's 20% chance. So that's very low.
Oh wow.
But that's going to save you 30 seconds.
Sure.
So think about that at top level. If your PB has early cycle and then you're running against it, it's very possible that you're just losing 30 seconds every time.
So does the current world record holder have must have a lot of good RNG in their run, I would imagine, right?
I don't know if he had early cycle or not.
I think he had early cycle. I think he had a really good early game in general.
Uh-huh.
But then his, like, late game is where it kind of failed.
He lost time at like the King Boo, like you guys were talking about.
Yeah, I think he got second cycle, but I'm not sure.
Is that the latest RNG sequence in the game? Is King Boo? Okay.
Yeah.
How close to the end of the run does that
That's
occur?
like 12 minutes before, I think.
Oh my god.
So I just actually did a sick trick called Honey Skip. Normally there's a cutscene you have to watch to enter this world, which takes about 30 seconds-ish. But using that weird little setup that I just did, you can activate the cutscene on the exact same frame that you die. And so then you just respawn and the cutscene's already over. So you can enter, yeah.
Let's go chillin'. Is
Yeah,
that like
dude.
a very difficult aspect of it?
It is hard, but with the right setup and like visual cues and stuff, you can get very consistent.
Cool.
What is the hardest trick in this run?
Honestly, as far as like tricks that you kind of have to do to complete the run or whatever, I still maintain that it's gelato skip because I think gelato skip has the tightest timing of any, like the one that I messed up on the hut earlier where I had to do it like 4th try. It's just a very, very tight timing. The other skips might have more complicated setups or whatever, but once you learn those setups, then you have a lot more leeway, basically, to not miss it. Gelato skip is definitely pretty tight timing.
How consistent are you for first time on that?
Gelato skip?
Yeah.
My average is probably like 1.5 tries these days, so I'm decently consistent.
Okay.
All right, finally hit him once. This is another kind of annoying boss where you have to just shoot these water rockets at him, and the aim can be kind of funky. And
Metal Bowser.
yeah, it's called Mecha Bowser. It's a whole thing. Can you grab this thing, please? Thank God I got the second one. Okay. Yeah, this is slow.
It's just Navi, dude. It's Navi, but it's a can of water.
That's true.
Why did they do that?
I find Flood a lot less annoying than Navi, actually.
The audio cues, maybe. He doesn't tell you to listen, right?
Yeah. He just hopes that you do.
So I see you exiting area each time. Is that?
Yeah, so those were
What is that
both
kind of-
cutscene skips,
Got it.
and these are huge cutscenes. The first one that I skipped was a minute, and this one that I just skipped was 2 minutes.
Got it. So as
But
soon as you get
they're-
the KO, you just cutscene.
Yeah, there's like specific visual cues again, a lot of leeway. So there's a lot of stuff in this game where it's like it seems very specific, but you actually have a lot of wiggle room to be able to get it.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because like that cutscene specifically, those are like the only 2 cutscenes that you can exit area out of. Like other cutscenes, like the PD one, like you could have, or you could have attempted to do it, but it wouldn't have worked for some reason.
Yeah.
Like that one just specifically has like a weird like trigger.
And it's nice because those are 2 of the longest like cutscenes in the game aside from the beginning.
Yeah, imagine watching like 3 minutes of cutscene.
Yeah,
right in
on
the
that
middle.
level. Oh god.
You think you put in more time into Melee or Sunshine?
Easily, like by far melee.
Like
Okay.
a factor of like what, 5?
10 times.
10
maybe?
times?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've been playing Melee since 2000, literally since release day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I played Sunshine casually a little bit, but you know what I mean? I've been putting hours into Melee since 2001, so.
Would you consider yourself a gamer? Were you always like good at games when you started them?
No, I would say I'm like a half gamer, because I thought I was pretty good, but then some of the people I was competing against as a kid were fucking game savants, like
Right.
as an Inchudat or just my regular casual gamer friends. So we play any game and I'm just getting destroyed. So I actually thought I sucked, but I think I'm like okay. I'm like average. Like I think with time to learn a game, it's like Batman, right? If I have time to plan, then it's a different beast. But if you throw me into a game with no prior knowledge, then
No utility belt.
I'm not doing great there. I'm not doing great.
Yeah, I think about that concept a lot. Like, I mean, my job in general is to just be around top gamers, right? And I'm constantly reminded of the difference between me and them, despite like probably playing the same amount of video games
Right.
in general. And I'm like, damn, sometimes it's genetic or something, right?
Right.
There's something like IPK. That dude is a gamer, right? He just
Oh,
gets
God.
it. I'll let you concentrate here.
Yeah, a lot of things have gone wrong already. Luckily, I don't mind too much because this run already sucked,
Hell yeah.
so we're good. If the run had been good, I'd be furious right now. I'd be so mad.
It is tough in like a marathon setting or like an exhibition setting too. Is like you get one shot, right?
Right.
Cosmic's run unfortunately ran into a piranha. He's like, dude, I want to reset so bad, right? And that's it's very different from the environment of your house and you
Right.
just reset and hit the run again.
Yeah, yeah.
At
No,
the-
it's definitely a whole different beast.
At this point, you would have reset, you think?
Oh, easily. I would have reset probably on the gelato skip when I took like 3 or 4 tries or whatever. That would have been the reset point because at that point I already had bad PD RNG too. So
Yeah.
the run was already bad, and then I got bad gelato skip, so that would have been the reset. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like I described at the beginning of the run, that's kind of the nature of this game. Is the RNG can screw you over, and then sometimes you have bad gameplay on top of that, and it's just it's brutal.
I still believe, dude. You can still do this.
I
you
also
can
believe.
Still get the world record. I still believe
It's
in you,
within
Chillin'.
grasp,
It
guys.
really
Still
is.
possible.
It really is.
If we splice in the TAS right here, I think we might have it.
Oh. I thought Yoshi was gonna come out of there.
I did too.
This level activates Yoshi,
I see.
so
These are like evil Yoshis.
Yeah, they're like turtles.
they're assholes.
Oh,
So
they turn into
ideally-
flowers? They're dead now.
Oh no!
This is so weird.
Did you turn into a flower?
No, I'm still a person.
Nice.
Tight.
I'm still living. Ideally, you want to get all 5 of these guys at once because there's this little cutscene, and then you can just watch all the cutscenes at once instead of like having to go in and out of the cutscenes. But it's pretty difficult to do. So I got the young 2 cycle. It's not bad.
What a
That's
grim
like
metaphor for life.
all right. So we have a pretty crazy split coming up. Another level skip. This one is called Early Yoshi Go Round. And essentially what it means is that, as I said, this last split just activated Yoshi. So now I can go back to Pinna 3 and get Yoshi on the beach and then do some crazy stuff to go into the level that you're supposed to get to with Yoshi in Pinna 6. And I haven't done Pinna 5 yet, so it amounts to a Pinna 5 skip, but with a lot of complexities that maybe Emo can explain.
Yeah, sure. So right at the very start, we're going to be getting Yoshi from the ground here. He's going to try to get one of the fruits and then feed him, force feed him basically. And then we're going to clip into the like the area in between like Pinna Park and like the outside here. And with one of those stews, we're going to like try to bring him over there. And by spraying him with one of the Yoshi's like fluids, one of the
This
juices,
sweet juice.
he's gonna transform into a platform, and we're gonna be able to clip
Gosh.
into the.
Okay. Might still be able to do this with these 2, though. Having 3 of them is pretty sketchy, so I didn't want that, but... This
Alright.
angle is a little bit questionable. Yeah, we'll be okay. Cool.
Nice.
So this whole park is unloaded, and that's why I need to do this whole complicated sequence to set this up, because you can't walk here normally. But for some reason, if you turn the enemies into platforms, then you can get here that way. It's really weird.
Yeah, for some reason that's like the only platform that's like loaded in within Pinna Park.
And why do you need to do that in general?
So that would skip one entire level, and then
Yeah,
it would take you
'cause-
straight into the secret.
So
I see.
The way you activate that secret on Pinna 6, the following level, is by getting Orange Yoshi and going to that specific spot. But you do it a level early with all this complicated stuff. And that's actually pretty much the only level in the game that can soft lock, meaning I could just be stuck and we would just be screwed as far as completing this run. I would have to either start over or that would be it.
What causes the soft lock?
Remember I mentioned my angle when I sprayed
Yeah.
the guy into the platform? If the angle's bad, then you can potentially soft lock there where Mario's just stuck hovering in midair, either on Yoshi or off Yoshi. He just can't do anything. So it's pretty messed up.
The metaphor for life as well.
This whole game, really.
It really does reflect us all.
But yeah, so I'm glad I got through that one. That's usually the split where in actual runs, if I get past that split and I'm still in the green, then it feels like it's in pretty good shape. That's kind of the halfway point of the run.
Is there a? So I know they've been making mod packs and like hacks of games, speed games, to be able to practice more efficiently. Is
Mhm.
there anything like that for Sunshine? Or
Yes,
okay.
absolutely there is. And fun fact, it's made by Dan Salvato.
Dude, he is
Oh
nuts.
my God.
That guy is crazy.
He does everything.
He's nuts, yeah, for sure. And it's huge. You can like save your position, load your position. You can automatically, just as soon as you start the game and you like hit one of the blocks, you can warp to any level. And he has it set so like each direction on the C-stick is a specific world, and then a specific button combo is a specific level. So if you hold the C stick, up right, and then hold down ZL, you'll get a specific level that you want to practice or whatever.
That's crazy.
Pretty wild.
If anyone's a gamer, Dan Salvato is a gamer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Not until he makes, a double dash codes, Then
Double
I'll be happy.
dash, yeah.
Until then.
You know what's funny? My roommate plays Mario Kart 8 or the one on the Wii. I don't know, but there's like a LAN function you can use that they hacked, and he plays competitively, much like Melee. And the meme is that double dash is the the Melee of Mario Kart games, and it gets really tilted when you say that. And I've learned that
There's wrong.
There's wrong, and there's a whole community that is ready to fight me in the street, and I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, double dash is the best one. Come on.
Dude.
Come on.
I'm going DS. I'm sorry.
DS?
That's
Mario Kart
alright.
DS.
It's alright.
Have you snaked in
That's
that
the
game before?
weirdest thing you've ever said.
I got a blister on my hand from snaking in DS. Mario
like a
Kart Double
negative.
Dash never injured me.
Sounds like a positive.
That's what chillin' values in a game. Pain.
How much does Sunshine hurt you?
It's a good
Not as
question.
much as Mario Kart DS.
So when can we expect Mario Kart DS runs?
Yeah, when's that happening?
Do they even have DS old school DS
100% probably, yeah.
Ask Dan Salvato.
Dan Salvato.
Working on it right
Get
now.
on that, Dan Salvato.
He's like, I made a DS that just projects directly to OBS, so
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Lagless.
those old boomer DSs were pretty nuts too. They look like little big
They're pretty huge, yeah, if you think back.
shavers or something.
Like a brick.
Yeah,
You could build a house with old school DSs.
that would be
probably be pretty structurally sound. I would live in that house. So you're supposed to get this blooper here and then go over to this thing, but I'm just going to skip the blooper using some fancy movement.
we flying.
Oh.
There it is.
Nice.
And then you're supposed to use a blooper to do this race. But I'm going to go ahead and skip the blooper using some
It's a
fancy movement.
Anti-blooper sort of experience.
We're saving the bloopers because they die at the end.
Wow.
They die.
That is very humanitarian of you.
I'd like to save the planet.
This is a vegan run.
Save the
Shouts to
bloopers.
Zach.
Drinking a lot of water.
I just really wanted to help the bloopers
You guys want to play the Veggie Monster? I love the Veggie Monster.
Oh boy.
I'll eat a blooper right now.
Blooper steak.
Probably be pretty
I
tasty.
want a baby blooper steak.
Probably be very tasty. But yeah, there it is. It wasn't super fast. It's actually really hard to save time on the actual race. By doing it blooperless, you have to get like a 20 or 19 or better to save time because it takes a little extra time to set up because you have to go like up on top of the thing before the race actually starts. Whereas if you just jump on the blooper, it's right there and then the race starts. So you have to beat your actual blooper time by like 5 seconds, I think, for it to save time.
Now, what are you collecting shines for in terms of like what? Because
The lore?
again, I don't know much about this game at all.
Yeah.
So at the very start, they Flood and in the court cutscene, they explain that expert shine scholars, all of them,
Yes.
have explained that apparently if you collect more shines, then that'll increase the brightness and the sun.
Yeah, you
for,
can actually literally notice the game getting brighter as you collect more shines.
That's
It's pretty
good.
wild.
So you're making it brighter.
Yeah, they're kind of like the overlords of Delfino Plaza, sort of.
So
the
are we-
protectors.
Are we pleasing or angering God in this game?
Who is God in this analogy?
I'm assuming it's the Shine Overlords, right?
Oh, I see it.
the shine sprites.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
just go up and grab God.
I mean, it all becomes an allegory, but for instance, in Mario 64, it's the castle in a way we're exploring it. I don't know, man. It gets pretty weird.
Yeah. It's weird because, I mean, if they are like the overlords and the protectors, then but they didn't do a very good job. He just got imprisoned. Actually, one of the most messed up things about this game is just like people in the game who are like members of this society will just be holding these ransom until you complete a task for them. Like, go clean
Very
this whole
selfish.
thing,
Yeah.
and then I'll give you this shine sprite. Isn't your life dependent on me finding these? Like, what's your problem, dude? I'm helping you out.
The society just seems kind of fucked. You see the way they treat bloopers?
Yes.
That's true.
There's a lot of weirdness going on in this world, and I don't know if Mario's necessarily righting it or wronging it, but it bears examination.
It definitely does.
He's making the world worse.
Very questionable ethics in this game, for sure.
We get there.
Nice.
Easy clap.
Yeah, that's one of the tougher secrets in the game casually, but once you learn like fast strats for it, it's not too bad. It's interesting how a lot of levels, I'm sure in a lot of speedruns work that way, but especially in Sunshine where the levels casually are really difficult, but because you learn this specific pattern of movement, you just kind of do the same thing every time and it just becomes easy. And so now we're going to fight the exact same boss that we fought in Rico 1 again. Just
Different color?
nope.
No, not even that.
Cool.
Same guy, different spot.
Oh, okay.
Different length and nose.
Okay.
Yep. Gotta pull his nose further, but aside from that,
Blooper.
yeah.
Nice.
Also, not much creativity in the naming.
Sounds like
department.
somebody's Twitch name. Thank you for the sub. Blooper.
That's like one of the handles that you get like auto-generated on Xbox.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, are there helicopters? I guess he flew in on a plane, right? So there's technology.
Yeah, there's what the hell's going on here? Okay, relax, guy. So I just have to pull back for a while.
Oh.
And there it is. You must find a way to fight it as I'm killing him. Okay.
You did it.
Great advice.
Thanks for the advice. Good tip. I'm kind of glad that the RNG has been so bad this run because it just took the pressure. I don't care anymore. If the run had started good and I'd gotten good RNG, I'd be like, oh god.
What does a mad chillin' look like? I don't think I've ever seen it. You're very, very happy-go-lucky kind of guy, from what I've seen.
It exists.
I had to look over at the fish to confirm.
It's definitely a thing.
What's the maddest you've ever got at a video game?
You know, one of the first tournaments in MDVA still had poke floats legal.
Okay.
And I had never seen this glitch before. It was the best I had ever done at local, by the way. It was only like my third or fourth local ever. And Chu was there, and Chu made Puff at the time.
Of course, naturally.
Of course. And I played Chu's Puff, and it randomed, because we still used random, there were no strikes. It randomed to poke floats. And I was like, okay, whatever, this stage is really dumb, and I don't know what the hell we're playing here, but let's play. And this was, again, the best I'd ever done in a tournament. I was in top 3. I was in losers finals, essentially. Winner fought as in. And we're playing. I go down to stock. I'm like, all right, I'll bring this back, whatever. We're running around on Seal. And I just fall. I fall through Seal in basically the biggest tournament match of my life to that point that I had never, ever seen this glitch before or known of its existence. That might have been the first time it happened to anyone on planet Earth. And
very possible.
In this losers final tournament, it was best of one, by the way.
Right,
fun
of course,
fact.
yeah.
And yeah, I then proceeded to lose, obviously.
Wow.
I was furious.
Did you throw the controller?
I did not. I've never thrown a controller except in friendlies with my brother.
You threw it in friendlies?
Wow.
Well, we were at home, and he just kept talking smack as he was beating my ass. That's fair. He was looking for me to throw the controller. That was his goal.
Sure. Was it melee or a different game?
Melee.
Okay.
Yeah. This was back in the 2002, 2003. My brother was one of the people we came up with, and it always infuriated me when he beat me. But this was like a particularly bad session, and he was just rubbing it in the whole time. And then I think I like almost beat him in a friendly, but he brought it back, and that was
Oh, that's the one.
controller was
That's
done.
the one. True friends will always make you feel the absolute worst.
Yeah.
It's their job.
They know how to get under your skin. Also, he's not a true friend. He's my brother.
Of course. It's a different dynamic.
All right, so that was the end of Rico. So we're done. Again, just beat Shadow Mario in every world and you're done. And so this is interesting because this is the first level we played in the game, right? So you're probably wondering, why didn't I just beat Shadow Mario in this world before moving on? And it's because of these kind of in-between level cutscenes. They're called event cutscenes, where it'll kind of show you that a new world is available. And those take a few seconds before you can skip them. So if you just go activate that new world right away, then you don't have to watch that between every level. So it actually saves a lot of time. So that's the reason for the routing
Nice.
set up the way it is.
It's interesting it restructures basically the entire run based on, avoiding cutscenes that would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's there was also a ton of different routing done for 120 shines. Because obviously you have to get blue coins, you have to complete every level, etc. But now, as far as I know at least, the optimal route... Oh, God. I'm just going to kill myself.
What does it
here.
mean, Chillin?
Oh, no. And
What does it mean?
And he bonked himself on the way out.
I didn't even kill myself properly.
Oh, no.
Bad.
The 120 route basically looks like the 90% route now because of the event cutscenes that I mentioned. You just want to get those out the way, even if you're trying to complete the whole game.
Yeah, so it ends up just being like a any percent section, and then just like an extra like shines, and then all of the 120 stars or shines.
I see.
You said the world record was 10...
One for this game, 114.
Yeah, 114. got it.
114, 18.
Yep.
I think.
We're on pace, boys.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten there. If I find full game skip.
Full game skip.
All right. So I made that look easy, but it was kind of hard. Even though I died the first
You
time.
died.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But on the second attempt, I made that look easy.
it did go pretty.
It took a lot of
slick.
practice.
Nice.
I actually, that level for the longest time was one of my banes in this game. And so I did something called German route, because as I said, you start with this world, but then we come back to it later. But for the cost of 10 seconds of extra cutscenes, you can do that level at the beginning. But then you get it out of the way, you know what I mean? And then you kind of get to do it every run because it's right at the beginning. So it's called German route, and I implemented that for like 6 months or something. And since then, I've been pretty solid at that level.
Why is it called German route?
I don't actually.
It's so interesting.
German
I can't even
people
help
use
with
it?
that one. I don't even know.
That no one knows.
Before my time.
Can you chill and dash in this game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let's see it, dude.
10 subs to BTS
subs.
speedrun.
10 subs on Chillin' Dash.
Oh, God. All right, so another world down. Shadow Mario did. And now he's holding Yoshi hostage.
We got to get him back. That's our friend.
Oh, wow.
Give him.
And he always wants a banana. And conveniently, I just happened to spray a banana.
Nice.
Wow, what are the odds?
Hungry Yosh gets fed.
What was that thing you just did where the memory card thing just came up? Did you skip saving or something?
So the way to do it is just not have a memory card in, because
see.
otherwise every time
Got it.
you have every time you finish a level or every time you get something, a new nozzle or get Yoshi or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it'll
to
ask
save.
you to save. But by doing that, you can just mash A real quick and it's over.
I remember this one. This was the only part I've seen in this game because I watched my friend play it and we just didn't know how to beat the boss at all. Probably spent like a half hour just running around. It was very annoying.
Yeah.
This guy.
This is casually maybe one of the hardest levels in the game, if not the hardest.
It was so hard.
And that's partially because the game never actually explains to you this mechanic called spam spraying. So if you press R all the way down and A on the same frame, I think that's how it works, then there you actually get like this kind of shotgun spray that covers this like area like this.
That is...
So it just makes this level significantly easier.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're going to be all over the place and you just spray them all pretty much at once.
can't believe they hid tech from me.
Yeah, they never explained this mechanic to you in the game. So I never knew about it until I started speedrunning, and then I was like, what the hell? Like, why wouldn't they just tell you that this was a thing? I guess most people just accidentally discovered it or whatever.
They'll smash their controller.
Yeah, it's actually very uncomfortable to do. I hate practicing this level, and then there's another level in this same world that's you just do this over and over. It's not great on the hands.
Would it be an advantage to have dead triggers, or at least one?
Maybe. But then you can only use R. It's not like interchangeable triggers in this game. They have different functions.
Oh, okay.
So you couldn't really do that in that sense.
Yeah, so like on my spring, I actually have like a half one.
Oh, okay.
And it still feels kind of weird when playing Sunshine because like even you sometimes do want to have like those in between like presses.
It's so interesting when you crack open a GameCube controller and it's like, man, it looks pretty simple in here. It's not that complicated.
Yeah. That was not great, but okay. That's kind of an RNG segment as well. There's kind of an inherent element of RNG to this whole game because that span spray thing I just mentioned, it's actually RNG where they all go. They don't always go to like the same spots.
Oh,
like
even with that advanced.
Yeah, like when they like that like spread shot basically, where they actually go individually is random. So just built-in RNG. These last couple of worlds are actually pretty tough. This one has 2 secret levels, which are the levels that Flood gets taken away. So you don't have like that safety net of being able to hover and recover if you fall off or whatever.
When Mario was revealed to have nipples, how did you kind of process that news? How did that hit you? What were your thoughts on that?
I don't know that I had a strong reaction either way. I was like, okay. I kind of just accepted it. I was like, all right, he has nipples. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of supposed to, right? He's a human man who...
I almost feel like his toenails freaked me out more. You remember that? I was like, what the hell? Okay. That's where I draw the line. The nipples were fine.
Sure. It was just it was such a strange stylistic decision. Like, you know, they said, let's do it. Let's give him them.
Where's his nipples at?
Yeah.
I want to see some nipples. All right. That was decent, aside from the whole block breaking segment.
Yeah,
I kind of want to do the hard strats here, but I'm not going to.
Oh.
What's the hard strat?
So you do, Emo described it earlier, it's called a momentum spin, where you kind of dive into a, oh god, we're fine. Yeah, you dive into an upward slope, and then immediately roll out, and then you kind of have an insane amount of momentum from just that action, and then you can translate that into what's called a momentum spin jump, and it goes significantly further and faster than a normal spin jump. So you can actually just like skip segments that you normally wouldn't. Like right there on that gear, you know how I waited for it to turn 3 times? On the second time, I could have done the momentum spin and gotten to like those sand blocks at the end. But it's very risky because if I miss that on a secret, then I just lose like 45 seconds or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. So. And the potential gain is a couple seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
Exactly.
Dang.
Very low risk reward, but top level runners definitely do it consistently. I mean, it's honestly not that hard once you like practice it and know the inputs and stuff, but inputs in this game for side flips especially, and to a lesser extent spin jumps, are kind of finicky. Like, it feels like you do a consistent input that you've done a billion times, and then you just don't get that jump. You don't get a side flip, or you don't get a spin input, so could be some polling stuff.
Do you think that's in within Sunshine, or do you think that's like a concept that just throughout all speedrunning? Like, do you think it's mental, or do you think it's actually happening in the game?
I think it's actually a thing with Sunshine. I think it just has to do with like the polling, kind of like Melee, right? Like
Sure.
the dashback or whatever.
Okay.
I think it's like something like that, where it just doesn't poll properly for your input, so you do the exact same input twice, but you get a different jump.
I
each
feel like I
time.
hear it a lot, especially in Sunshine. Like in other communities, like
Mhm.
you hear it sometimes, but more so here. maybe they all just have bad controllers, you know? Contact Nez.
There you go.
We need a UCF for Sunshine, dude.
UCF for Sunshine, and then there's a whole controversy. Insane.
Nintendo no longer sponsoring Sunshine.
They say we're pulling out of Sunshine events. We've had it up to here.
Oh, God. So this was a whole skip. I'm normally supposed to individually spray all those little question mark blocks until they're all flipped the same way, and it takes forever. It just sucks ass. So that's one of the more useful skips in the game called Casino Skip.
Yeah, that would have been way more RNG into the game if that wasn't discovered.
Mhm.
Casino Skip, not really a skip that happens in real life
No,
for Chillindude.
Not whatsoever.
Some nights you wish he had.
I sometimes wish that I had gotten it, but it's a lot harder in real life. Okay. Another level where I could have done a semi-risky momentum spin at the end to save a second or two.
It's hard to swag out, you know? We're all getting old.
Shouldn't you try to swag out since you're behind on time?
Shut up, bitch.
What
No,
have you got to
Steady
lose?
as she goes.
What have you got to lose, dude?
The run is so bad that it came back around. So, like, if the run had been amazing, I wouldn't have swagged out.
Okay.
But if the run had been slightly bad, I've been like, all right, let's go for it. But
I
then the
see.
run became so bad that it was like, all right, I can't like I can't take 2 hours on this run. we got stuff to do after this. I got to wrap it up. So this is King Boo that we mentioned earlier, the other major RNG segment in this run, and toward the end. The good thing about King Boo RNG-wise is that on average, you don't get that many extra cycles. So basically, you need a fruit cycle. You'll see it's like a slot machine. You need a fruit cycle to damage him. And the optimal RNG is fruit, non-fruit, fruit, non-fruit, fruit. It has to alternate. But sometimes they'll just throw in an extra non-fruit, and then...
Okay, so it's just 50-50s.
Right, and each of those costs you 10 seconds if he does throw an extra. But, like I said, luckily the way the RNG is set up, it's actually pretty rare to get too many extras. Like, you'll get like 1 or 2 extras at most, typically.
What's the most you've ever gotten in a run, if you can remember?
I think it was 6, and it was infuriating because it was on PB
pretty
pace.
high.
Oh my god.
I was actually in the green. But yeah, you can also instantly cancel the non-fruit cycles by as soon as he spits something out, you go under his mouth like that, and then he just moves on.
And I think the worst that anyone's ever gotten is like 8 or 7.
Yeah, it doesn't get that high. Like the issue with it is that it's toward the end of the run. So if you do lose any time at all, and you're on a good run, it just feels bad. But compared to like PD, you lose way more time on average with PD.
Right.
But that's at the beginning of the run, so that's like the flip side. I hope that worked. That
was
might have been an early
drooling.
cancel. Hopefully that worked. Not sure. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Nice. That was frame perfect then. I'm sick.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
it's too hot.
Ooh. So the durian, specifically, for whatever reason, Mario can't pick it up. He just has to like kick it around. But in this case, it's actually faster to fight King Boo with, because essentially you throw a pepper at him, which makes his tongue all hot and spicy, and then you hit him with a fruit, which damages him.
Very,
the
very
logic isn't
unripe.
really there.
Unripe fruit.
I was
Very
hoping
hard.
that made sense as I said it, and I realized it just made no sense whatsoever. But the durian, you can just hover into it, and it'll like kick right at him instead of having to pick it up and then throw it.
I mean, if someone threw a durian at your head right now, that wouldn't be a very
That's true,
enjoyable
especially if my
experience.
tongue was already on fire.
Yeah, and you're already like in a bad spot.
Okay, I kind of get it now. So this level, you just literally just clean out the whole beach. There's nothing more to it. It's actually significantly harder in the Japanese version. You have to clean off pretty much like 99% plus of the goop, as opposed to the US and PAL versions where you clean off like 95%.
I mean, they're more economically friendly, or they're just friendlier in terms of like the
Toilets are smaller.
environment. They're
Right.
more environmentally sound.
What is the Japanese version its own category? I assume.
No, they're
No.
the same category
Oh.
because it's not
Like
it's
overall,
significant time save, but it's not like life change. Like I think it's any percent. It's like 13 seconds.
Yeah.
The Japanese time version saves over US because
really?
some of the levels are harder, like this one, and then the one I did earlier, EYG. There's like a certain part that you have to do differently in the Japanese version. It's harder. So those factors are pretty much why I haven't switched to Japanese version, even though it's like all the top runners, like top 5, 10, all use Japanese version.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But like since it only saves like 15 seconds and like in Japanese version like the Delfino loads actually faster. So like
Mhm.
that's how you save like those seconds over,
Oh, okay.
over time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I once ordered a Japanese version of Ghostbusters for the Sega Genesis, and it didn't fit into my
Really?
Sega, and I was very mad.
Wow.
Did you throw your controller?
I have thrown my controller in other situations, but that I did not. I just kind of put it on the shelf.
Did you throw the cartridge?
Oh,
Didn't throw anything?
Japanese Ghostbusters.
Who did you call?
There was nobody.
He was out of
I
options.
picked up the phone. I said, "Konnichiwa."
Who do I call right now?
There's no one else.
Where do I turn?
So how many shines are we from the big fight?
7 now because we just killed Shadow Mario in the second to last world. So I'm now going to travel over to the last world called Noki Bay. Oh, God. Yep. There it is. You just have to look up at the sun to activate this world. It's weird. It's a nod to Mario 64, probably.
Yeah. I think the games in which Mario and Bowser team up are always the best lore-wise.
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, Super Mario's RPG.
Mm-hmm.
He functions better as an ally.
Yeah.
Because we can't believe him as the monster anymore.
Yeah. He's just messed up too many times.
He's incompetent.
He's assigning his son to do his dirty work for him in this game. It's messed
Literally did a dirty work.
Yeah.
up. Oh boy. Very bad angle on that spin jump. So spin jumping is tricky because sometimes you want to do a spin jump at a specific angle. So essentially you spin the control stick and then you want to like end at the angle that you want it to go, right? But obviously sometimes that doesn't quite work out.
Is it a
because-
full revolution?
Yeah. Or it's supposed to be. I don't know exactly what the code calls for in terms of. I feel like you can get like
I think
6 out of 8 on the octagon or
Yeah.
something
Mm.
and still get it. But again, sometimes it feels like it drops too, which might just be a polling thing. I don't know.
We need Dan on the case.
Yeah, we need some research.
Or
on
Uncle
this game.
Punch, the Luigi version of him.
Aunt Punch.
It's a much more problematic name now that I think about it.
Auntie Jab.
Auntie Jab. All right, so this world is theoretically easier than the previous one because the previous one had some hard splits. It had the RNG segment, but the thing about this world, it has a really hard secret, probably the hardest in the game, toward the end. It's the second to last world level before Shadow Mario is the hardest secret in the game. And that's at, obviously, the very end of the run because we're getting there, so that makes it very tricky.
Backup tracks?
Oh, nice.
We get there.
Oh, boy.
We get
Good.
there.
This is another one where you were actually going to fight the same Gooper blooper from Rico again.
The third time.
Yeah, but you can
Yeah.
use this crazy clip to just go ahead and get the shine and not worry about that because, oh, God. Oh, should be good.
Is this good? Okay.
I was a little nervous because normally I get like a little boost forward from the little spring, but that time I had to wing it. But we got it. We got there.
Nice.
I've actually only ever missed that like 3 times, so it's actually pretty difficult, but it is possible. You can just end up in this weird like abyss below that has like water. You're like in water for some reason. That's
Hell yeah.
It's weird. This level is another red coin, which kind of amounts to an auto-scroller. I don't even know why they load the world here. Because he just throws you into this bottle. You don't even need to see the world here. You're just going to hover around in a bottle and collect red coins.
So much lore.
So, yeah.
Oh,
actually,
look at that. Oh. You just become mini-me.
So like the reason why you're doing this is like because it's training you to do like the underwater stuff, and so like eventually, or he's like explaining to you like different theories that he has. So like at first he's like, oh, it's the water, it's the waterfall, like it's corked up, you gotta unlock it. There's a mole up there, so you uncork it, it's not it. The water's all still stinky, and then he's like, oh, it's gotta be the blooper, you know? It's not the blooper.
Okay.
So then he throws you in a bottle. Teaches you some mechanics.
It's in here for sure.
It's gotta be. And then after this one, we're gonna be going against a fight with the eel, which is like one of the like 3 unique like boss fights, I'd say.
Yeah. Sadly, eel might actually be like conceptually the best boss fight in the game, but it's really dumb still.
Yeah.
It's you go underwater, and then you clean off this eel's teeth.
Oh, that one. Yes, I've seen that on your stream. It's
I
fun.
mean,
It's fun.
he lives underwater like this. What am I really doing here?
I do like the idea too of these NPCs being wrong, and like you gotta kind of work with them and their thought process. He's like, yeah, that wasn't it. We're gonna try something else. Very realistic.
Honestly, Mario's a saint in this game because I would have got fed up so long. I would have been like, Peach, I'm calling a private jet right now. I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to max out my credit card. Let's go home right now.
That's within.
These guys are crazy.
That's within his skill, right? Like he could do that.
He could. I mean, how many coins has he collected in the previous games? He got coins
He's
for that.
got Banco.
He's got
He's
stars.
coins he's got everything he needs. But he's just a saint. He's like, you know what? These people are struggling. Even though they falsely imprisoned me, I'm going to still save their lives. What a guy.
He is.
Wait a minute. 114. Are you going to make it? Is this the world record run? Wait a minute. 5 seconds. Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
Chillin'. Hurry up. Oh,
I can't.
man.
It was
Did
close.
I not get it?
It
Did I
was
not get it?
close.
Chillin'.
Did I not get it? I thought I did.
That's pretty close.
Oh, look at these chompers.
Oh, get out of there.
Disgusting.
All right, cool. If he closes his mouth on you, then
Oh, his breath is
lose
gross.
a ton of time.
Stinky.
Does have gross breath.
This
I'm
is
doing
like,
this on purpose. All right, cool. Now I've swapped through. I might have been late. Super late.
he has a gold
Alright,
tooth.
Hell yeah.
He's balling.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
I actually didn't sneak through.
More death metaphors.
I need life.
Me too.
I'm not even talking about the game. There's a cry for help. All right, let's see.
Coin up. Coin up.
Okay. Where you at? Where you at, Dirty Keith?
Nice.
Okay. No, don't go down. Don't go down. Ah.
Oh, man. So close to world record.
It could have been it. Can't believe Eel
Dang
took another
RNG.
one.
Can we
Wait,
get-
is he
can
getting
we
to see
get
30
couch
again?
change? Can I alter the couch last minute real quick? Just want a certain emission. Certain change.
Okay, the teeth are the same. So it's just a no, they're dirty again.
No, the ones you already cleaned off are good.
Okay.
As long as you clean them off all the way.
Do they get reset if you don't clean them up all the way?
Yeah.
Nice.
If he
Is he
goes
going
down.
back down? Where is he?
Oh,
Dude!
Oh, no! Chillin'!
Dude, I didn't know what was going on. Nothing happened for like 5 seconds. All right. We still got the sub 125. That's the goal.
Okay,
All right.
124.
I like that.
Come on, dude. Hurry the hell up. I got stuff to do, Eel. Wait, oh my god, a middle tooth is what I was missing. Take damage. Oh. So if you take damage as you're cleaning the last tooth, then you get a cutscene skip, what it's called. So you don't have to watch this whole thing. You're already floating down, and then the shrine's going to be all the way at the bottom. So now I have to watch this and then float down to the shrine at the bottom.
Cool.
What a wholesome message embedded within this game.
Yeah, clean your teeth, man.
Dental care.
There's a couple of those. He tells you to take care of your pets.
That
Really?
I can get behind.
Oh.
Mario's just a great guy, man.
Was that Mario giving the advice or the eel?
It was Flood.
It was Flood,
was
actually.
Flood's a
Flood.
great
I
guy,
see,
too.
I see,
Flood
I see.
with the wisdom.
So, I mean, Flood shits on Navi.
Navi never told me to brush my teeth.
Yeah, for real. She didn't tell me to take care of my pets. She just told me to wait and listen.
Just listen.
That's it.
And then you're just overfeeding Epona carrots.
Stop me when I'm 1 foot away from the Lost Woods.
Hey,
Maybe you should go visit Saria
Hey,
in
I-
the Lost Woods.
Link,
Shut up, Navi!
I have an idea.
That's what I'm doing, idiot! Come on. Ah, shit. So these levels against this guy are essentially auto-scrollers because he's the slowest man in the world.
Okay.
And it's kind of sad because you have to wait for him to finish every time, and he takes the same time every time. So you can I could just do some crazy. I could go up here. I could explore a little
You
bit.
can just
what's up
absolutely
here?
stunt on
Oh.
this guy.
Oh, it's
Tech
real?
showcase.
Oh, he's not actually the slowest guy in the world. That's not like his backstory.
No, no.
No.
I see.
He's just a very hopefully
He's-
fast man.
He
Got it,
just
got
happens
it.
to be very, very slow.
I mean, like eventually he gets fast, but like not
Yeah.
right now.
Not right now. So if you like get the shine and then you like face this guy again, then he gets a lot faster.
Yeah.
But at first, it's just you have to wait for him anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you do.
Come on, bud.
Which, from a speedrunning perspective, kind of sucks too. Like, it would be so dope if he instantly finished after you were done, because then it would open up all these like movement options of like what's the optimal way to get to this flag right away.
Right.
But instead, it just doesn't matter at all. So you essentially, basically, all that matters is how fast you get to like him in the first place to talk to him and start the race.
He just doesn't challenge our guy Mario.
Yeah.
Doesn't stimulate
Mario
the-
needs some stimulation.
He's so proud when he comes back. He's like, yeah.
He just destroyed that guy in the race.
It's true. He's very
Laughed
Yeah,
at
he always pops off a little bit. I respect it. He's saving. He's grabbing gods.
yeah.
Every time he's like, "Yo, check out this god."
Not an easy task.
Similar movement to oh god,
Uh-oh.
Noki 2 to start.
But now instead you were gonna go to the shell secret.
Yep. As I mentioned before, probably overall hardest secret in the game.
Okay.
You could maybe make the argument for. I don't even know what's harder than this. This is the hardest one.
I think like Bianco 6 maybe.
That's what I was
But-
thinking, but now that
but
I
like-
did German route, Bianca 6 is free.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oof, almost hit that peg.
I wasn't worried for a
Thanks for
second.
slime.
This movement, Chillindude 829.
Wait a minute.
This movement!
Dang.
That was so clean.
That's pretty good.
Dang.
Very nice. How much?
I lied before. It's not the hardest thing. It's it's free. It's free.
No problem.
Bianco 3 might be the hardest one. After looking at that.
True. Sub 125 ain't happening. Wait.
You think so? How much more do you have left?
Sub 125 is barely possible.
Yeah.
Let's go, Chillin'.
I need
Go.
Let's do it, man.
I need the last 2 splits of a lifetime.
I 100% believe in these golds coming up.
Oh boy.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, amazing start.
We're looking good.
You got this, Chillin'.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, 125, baby.
Oh,
he knocked me up here. That was actually amazing.
That's sick.
Okay. The homie.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Thank
okay.
God. Okay. All right, 125. That's exactly what I wanted. That's all I ever. Wait. Oh, I could.
What's
still
happening?
124.
Did you
It's
get
still
it?
possible.
Wait a minute. I could still 124.
That's insane.
This is in the last level, bitch. Relax.
The star was flying away, right? This is all confusing.
I thought the same thing.
thought
It was going away from you, and I was like, this is bad.
Yeah, I thought you had
He
to
needs
like
to
walk
get
out.
it.
Get up there. All right. Yeah, I could 124. Unlikely, but possible. I could do it.
Easy.
Do you think I could 124, Vish?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I'm not gonna get it then.
I think you can still
I
get
di-
the world record.
No. Talk shit.
I believe.
Say 127 at best.
Say it quick.
127 at best. 127 at best.
So
Wow,
mean,
you're a dick, Vish.
I can't
You-
believe that.
What the hell, dude?
It's time to prove
I
him
invited
wrong.
you here to support me.
You loser.
Relax. It's just kind of a bit.
that was a little too far. That was a little too far.
Hey, whoa, hey,
Oh, weird.
I can't wait.
Oh,
All right.
Oh no.
I just wanted to see if there was anything down there.
No.
I heard there might be a skip there.
All right, 127 at best.
It's theoretical.
You got this, man.
Thanks, dude.
Oh.
Aw.
Oh, nice.
Supposed to spray off this fire with that previous spray.
So hot. So hot in this corridor.
30 seconds, dude. You got ample time. I don't know how long this level is. I mean that.
It's a minute and a half, idiot.
I
Do
see.
some math.
Just gelato skip.
Okay.
Hey,
Just do
You gotta
chill
hit him
dash.
where it hurts, huh?
wow. Wow.
Get in the fireboat.
Okay. All right.
Nice, nice, nice.
Okay.
We call that a speedboat.
Okay.
We call that a chillin' boat. Oh, boy.
What are you trying to do here?
Skip all the clouds that you're supposed to normally go up. Oh, boy.
Oh, did you do it?
Limp rocket.
Okay.
So we skipped a
near
bunch
the
of
top.
them,
Nice,
but
nice.
usually you can get all
Oh,
the way
no.
up
Oh, are you fucking serious?
Dude,
Oh.
what's
going
What's
on?
happening, dude?
Vish was supporting me and it just didn't work
Oh
out.
my
Oh,
God, Fish.
127, 127. You could still get 127. I mean,
All right, there it is.
yeah, there it is.
Let's go. Baby bows.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Ooh, he's chilling in the sauna.
Rocket storage saves so much time that might have actually still been faster than doing the clouds. Probably not. But close.
So 125, not happening. But you know what?
I can get a 125.
I told you 127.
All right, so it's one.
Yeah, I can get a 125. 125.49. I'm calling it right now.
All right, run it. Like
go,
that.
go, go.
Just warm, hot boys in there.
Yeah, it's kind
Ju-
of like you're just messing up their jacuzzi.
Just do that 4 more times. It's the most straightforward.
Oh,
no!
I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Chilling, come
Okay.
on.
We're good.
Oh my
125 still alive.
Yeah?
49 is dead.
Okay.
Okay.
My prediction was wrong.
All right, just 2 more times. Okay.
Get there.
49, 49. Okay.
Please work. Okay.
Oh, 125. Come on, chill.
When's time? When's time?
As soon
Right,
as I
last
ground
ground
pound
pound.
this next piece,
Okay.
it's
You
time.
got this. You got this. Oh, you did it.
Team
Boom!
curse.
125.
125.57. My best live run ever. Fun fact.
Dang.
I think the previous ones were like 129s.
You say team
so-
curse?
Let's go.
Did you mean to say that?
Yeah, I did. It's a
Okay.
fun pop-up. Team Curse and then Team Liquid. Both. Team Liquid. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the same
Team
pop.
curse
you know?
actually sounds with more oomph.
It has so much. Team Curse. But yeah, there it is. I'll take it. I mean, RNG was terrible this run, and also slime started making me question life and shit. And I'm pretty sure I had an existential crisis halfway through that run
fair.
because of slime.
I was just illuminating things that you already thought about
He was
on
like,
a deeper level. This is a messed up game, is what
does
I'm
this-
saying.
how does this game feel about God?
That's really deep.
I was just trying to go fast. All right. Yeah, decent run.
Good job, man.
With the RNG, the best case scenario I was looking at is like 121. So I only played 4 minutes worse than that.
Well, I mean,
I'll
you
take
think
it.
about it this way, like,
I'll take it.
you did in 90 minutes what a lot of 11-year-olds couldn't ever dream to do.
That's true.
You know, and in general, you know, what can you do in 90 minutes? You beat a whole entire game. You did it
I
in
beat the entire game.
125, 57.
Something like that. 125. Let's just call it a 125.
So
We don't
good.
got to get into specifics.
I am proud of you.
Thank you, Simon. And you know what? I appreciate you making me question life because this game does raise a lot of important questions about society, you know?
Yeah.
Should we be imprisoning Italian people?
Should we be keeping hostage the thing that will save our whole world so that we can help those around us, right? Like, if you clean off this whole island, then I'll give you one of these shine sprites that would save us.
Yeah. People who live inside of the underwater still have bad teeth, which is also a metaphor.
Take care of your pets.
Should we eat bloopers?
Should we?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It isn't no.
No.
It's
Should
it's
we?
like it's should we?
Yeah,
and
we
we have
can.
to answer that question. If we can do it, should we do it?
Right. We're capable. I think at its core,
Shit.
Mario Sunshine is
pretty
really
difficult.
just an anti-calamari game, anti-sushi, you know?
Do you think so?
Save
Save
the aquatic animals.
Yeah. Very
You know?
Yeah,
very on
even,
brand.
even with the big blooper dude, you just put him in the water. You didn't
Just
you didn't
pull on his tentacle.
yeah, you
He
just
didn't KO
bullied
him.
him a little bit.
He was just
got him
hanging out-
out of there.
got him
You
out of
went
there.
all up in his space
right.
and then just pulled his nostril.
But you set him free. You put him back in the water.
No, you didn't.
Didn't he go
He
in
was
the water?
chilling up there.
Kind
He was having a good time.
Delfino Plaza is not a place for a squid.
It's really
Blooper.
not,
It's a
actually.
blooper.
Squids should just get out of there.
Yeah.
And Mario's kind of a dick.
Is that what we learned?
That's what I've
Go
learned.
Full circle.
Mario's kind of an asshole.
Dick.
Well, guys, thank you so much, Chillindude829. Thank you
Of
so much,
course.
VishDude829, and thank you so much. I've been told it's emo
It's emo.
and also
Emo.
emu, like the
Yeah.
bird that
No,
won
no,
the
no.
Australian War. What? Let's settle this right here. What do you
The
go
hot
by?
topic.
What's your Matrix name?
So it's emo,
Say it again slower.
EMO.
Okay.
But emo works, you know.
Okay. I am joined
You're
by
accepting it.
emu,
I like it.
VishDude829,
Why
Chillindude829.
Why did you say emu? You like switched it up there. It's not,
Emu.
that's not even anything.
It was a wonderful
is
run
that
Sounds
is that a
Greek.
word?
of Super Mario Sunshine.
Emu?
We learned a lot about ourselves. We
We
learned
did.
a lot about each other. We learned a lot about Mario and what his intentions are. And most of all, what our purpose is really here.
Yeah.
Or did we? I don't know.
We did.
However, next we have Mafia.
I feel like a changed man.
Hey, put her there.
I love you, Simon. You made me think about life and squids.
We have Mafia up next. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back in that set that you know and love, and we'll get some Mafia action going. So stay tuned. BTS Speedrun.